This is a BLT, except it's a CLT. It's a chickpea, lettuce, and tomato. And it's my new favorite sandwich. Okay, first, I want to look at the BLT as a sandwich. Most of the recipes I found use 3 to 5 slices of bacon. So 4 slices of bacon has around 160 calories, 14 grams of fat, 6 grams saturated fat, 20 milligrams cholesterol, 500 milligrams sodium, and 8 milligrams of protein. For this recipe, I'm going to be using about a 1/4 cup of chickpeas per serving. But before I dive into the nutritional facts of chickpeas, I kind of wanted to put the whole recipe together first. So we're going to be starting with 1 can of chickpeas. Let's go ahead and drain the chickpeas. We need to save the liquid. Now, the liquid that's in a can of chickpeas is called aquafaba. It's actually the liquid from any bean. Aquafaba is kind of like a protein-rich liquid that can be used in so many different things. It actually thickens up really nicely and works really well for like sauces, things like that, but people actually bake with it in replace of egg whites. Boom. Now, I'm just gonna set these chickpeas aside just to kind of drain. I'll pull out my little baby food processor here. We're gonna add probably about a 1/4 cup of the liquid of aquafaba. Now, I'm also gonna add about 2 cloves of garlic. This is a huge clove of garlic. Add a little bit of salt, some black pepper, not much, just a little vinegar, maybe a tablespoon or so. And I'm gonna be using firm tofu. This is organic firm tofu, about half of that block. And I cut this so awkwardly, it's not even close to a half. Not even gonna drain it, we're just gonna toss it right in. Come on, why did I do it like this? I could have made it easier on myself and drained it. So we're just gonna process this down until it's a nice, smooth, hummus-y kind of spread. Maybe smoother than hummus. It's almost like a mayo consistency, but it's better. I mean, this is really good. Wow. It's like tangy. So good. And it's loaded with protein, super low fat. It's about 19 grams of protein in here. I'm not saying you're gonna eat this whole thing, but you are gonna add a few grams of protein per serving. Maybe not a few grams, maybe a gram or so. So now for the chickpeas, they've drained a little bit. I'm gonna toss them into a bowl. I'm gonna give them just a little bit of salt, not much. Trying to keep that sodium low. A little bit of pepper and some garlic powder for now. We're just gonna toss this around. Now that's not all of the seasoning for these, but this is gonna get started and get us going. So let's get our pan nice and ripping hot, which is going to be from today's sponsor, Made In. Made In designs professional quality products for the home cook, which is why I've been using Made In since 2018. I mean, it's incredible. Their kitchenware are used by professional chefs in some of the world's best kitchens. Like, they're used in multiple Michelin 3-star restaurants. I mean, personally, I love cooking with Made In. And if you are looking to switch to a non-toxic and uncoated pan, Made In's carbon steel collection is for you. Made In's award-winning carbon steel frying pans are made in Sweden in a family-owned factory that has been in operation since the late 18th century. This is the perfect hybrid of a cast iron pan and a stainless steel frying pan. It heats up quickly, but light enough to maneuver around the stovetop and gives you incredible heat control. And it can go from the stovetop to an oven and even over an open flame, up to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. I haven't used this on an open flame yet, but I am stoked to try my new carbon steel grill pan. I mean, look at this thing. So gang, check out the Carbon Steel collection and Made In's other cookware by using the link in my description to save on your order. Made In, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for creating some of the most incredible cookware. Okay, so the pan is nice and hot, the chickpeas are ready. I'm gonna slice up about a 1/4 of a red onion, just in the big slices. And this is a big red onion, so I actually might not even use all of this. Let's just see. Now I want the chickpeas to sear a bit and be a little crunchy, so I'm actually gonna just kind of squeeze them. I don't want to completely mash them, but we are going to break them into smaller bits. It's going to release some of the starch and kind of help these crunch. Now I will say these low sodium chickpeas are much softer than some of the other canned chickpeas I've used, so smash carefully. That pan should be nice and hot, the oil should be really nice. We're gonna toss the onions in, let those cook for just a moment, and then we will toss in our chickpeas. Now I'm not gonna move the chickpeas, I'm gonna let them kind of sear and brown on one side for about 2 or 3 minutes before we flip them to the next side. It's been about 3 minutes. They should be a little crispy on one side. So now that is mixed up, I'm just gonna add a little bit of smoked paprika, tiniest touch of maple syrup. Give that a mix. Gonna move these guys over to a bowl. Start toasting our bread. For the bread, I'm using Dave's Killer Bread. I think that's probably gonna be your best choice. I'm doing the thin sliced, sprouted whole grain. This stuff's super good, low calorie, but it's tons of flavor, tons of texture too. Now for the tomato, you can use whatever tomato you like, but personally I think beefsteak is the only option. And if you can get like different colors, that's fun too. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Just gonna slice this down the center. I love how meaty that is. We're gonna do pretty thick, but not crazy. For the L, I think there's only one option, but you could stick with something like butter lettuce. I know a lot of people want to get fancy and use spinach or other things like that, but using iceberg is gonna be your best choice. So let's put this sandwich together. Let's top each half with a bit of our spread. Now I am gonna keep it light. Now let's top it with the chickpeas. Don't need to keep this part light. Like I said, it's gonna be about a 1/4 cup. Should be 4 servings, 4 sandwiches. Each half is gonna get some of that shredded lettuce. Then our tomatoes. These are wild tomatoes. I mean, gosh, just outstanding compared to the rest of the size of this sandwich. We gotta flip this closed. Use the tomatoes as kind of like your sandwich topper here. Ooh, my gosh. I mean, I'm sorry, but look at that. So I think there's only one correct way of doing this. That's at an angle. Jeez. I saw the burger dude using the 2 different colored tomatoes and I was just like, oh man, I gotta make a sandwich like that because it just looked so good. I mean, that looks wild. Oh my gosh, okay. Yep, jump on in, the chickpea, lettuce, and tomato. Hold it tight.
Okay.
Boom, cheers.
This is really good.
Yeah.
It's really refreshing. Let me take another bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like chickpea salad. It's almost got kind of like a bacon tuna taste, you know?
Bacon tuna.
I used to get this sandwich at this place that's no longer here in Orlando called Dandelion, and it was called the bacon, lettuce, and tomato. It was made with tempeh, but this tastes like it. This is like, and it's better, I think, because it's actually like more refreshing.
Yeah.
Just tastes more fresh. I really like the flavor, and I love, there's like a little bit of a kick. I don't know if that's the pepper you just put on it or something else. It's really flavorful.
No, you know what it is actually? It's the kick is the garlic mayo kind of that I did.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's like
that.
a tofu mayo. So the chickpeas in this comes out to about 167 calories per serving, 1.8 grams of fat total, 0 cholesterol, about 200 milligrams of sodium, 33.5 grams of carbs, 3.5 grams of fiber, so really 29-ish, 30 grams of carbs, and 5.5 grams of protein. Now that doesn't include about the 2 grams of protein on the bread or the 1 gram of protein on the spread. Pretty close to a bacon, lettuce, and tomato without nearly as much fat, without the cholesterol, and a little bit about the same calories. So yeah, this is a fantastic lunch. My gosh, delicious. I love the double tomato.
Me too, and I love the garlic flavor on it. It's really good. It all goes together so well.
Yeah, the bread is, I think, 60 calories a slice.
Okay.
So 120 calories. If I were to guess with the tofu spread, I would say that would be pretty light calories as well, probably maybe like 5, you know? So 280 calorie lunch, maybe 300 calories.
That's barely anything.
Very light lunch for a very dense, dense meal. Boom, well, there you go. Do you have anything else, baby?
Obviously, I like it because I keep eating it.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. It's very good. Oh, I lost a tomato. What's up?
What are you barking at? You're a good boy? Who's a good boy? Bubby, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?